Welcome to Rats, Mice and Kids, the show where parents become the experts at teaching science to their kids. Hi, I'm Amelia.
And I'm Annie. If you've ever had to field off questions from your kids about why they have to learn something at school, you might already be aware that the school curriculum can kind of lack a little bit of relevance. But Amelia, why do I need to know the capital of Australia?
Because we live there?
Oh, that seems like super relevant information.
The more personalised the relevance, the greater the impact. What did you think ACT stood for?
It stands for something? I thought it was ACT. As in like, you know, that's where they make legislative acts and they have impact. And take action.
Well, I mean, Annie, it was a good thought, but
Anyway, so relevance is all about linking what you're teaching back to your audience's interests and the language that they would use.
Annie, what if I don't know what kids are into these days?
Well, one super easy way to bring in relevance is to use everyday objects. This is because audiences connect with prior knowledge of these objects and can identify their use in everyday life. So then if you use them in a counterintuitive way, they can evoke curiosity and motivation, which is conducive to learning, my dear friend. This is backed by research. So Hulleman and Harackiewicz, they found that students with low school performance expectations who wrote essays that linked their class content to their everyday lives had significantly improved interest in science. Their grades increased and they had more motivation to learn.
wow, that's actually so cool.
It's so cool.
I guess that's tapping into the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation for learning. Students realise themselves that knowledge is really handy or interesting and that they've actually got autonomy over their learning. There's nothing like being told what to do and then just wanting to do the opposite.
How's this a soft drink?
No.
Well, what's really interesting about these increases in grades in that study is that there's actually a lot of evidence suggesting that grades are not a very good way to motivate people to learn. Like, as an incentive, they have the opposite effect. Where students will be more likely to play it safe and get a good grade rather than pushing themselves to do projects that they might fail at. So carrots on sticks really aren't the best trick. Speaking of failing, I think it's time we did our demo.
Annie and I mentioned failing because this demonstration, and the word demonstration obviously, needs a little bit of practice to get right. Annie uses this one in one of her science shows, which are all about the science of music and sound. How often do you get it to work in your shows?
I have about 50% success rate.
And you still keep it in there?
Yeah. I like to normalise failure.
Alright, well, let's do it again.
Okay, so.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, I'll go first.
Give it a go.
Alright.
50-50. 50-50.
She tried. She conquered. She failed. I think I was in that not so good side of 50-50. I think maybe it's your turn. Right, I'll give it a whirl.
Oh, yes! You did it! That's actually pretty good, hey?
You should do the music show.
Maybe we'll swap. So when you're presenting this demonstration, you might actually want to scaffold your questions around what kids might already know or be familiar with, like what makes sound, or when you strum a guitar, what are the strings actually doing?
Yeah.
Do they wobble? Mm-hmm. When you blow into a trumpet, what's making the sound? And what if we blow through our cans, being the final kind of part of that scaffolding?
Absolutely. So the science behind this. All sound is made by vibrations. And we're vibrating our cans by blowing through them using our breath. And you can play around with sound by holding the cans in different ways or, asking your kids why that might dampen the sound if they're dampening the vibrations. But you can also have easy wins in making other sounds if you're not able to get your can blown 50% of the time. What other ways can we make sounds with these?
I guess we could drop them on the ground or maybe clap them together.
Yeah. Cheers.
But also we can think about whether we can bring in relevance with more familiar sounds, things like an elephant or maybe even a squeaky gate.
So have a go at this demo and with your kids and let us know what their reactions are.
We'd also love to know how you bring in relevance with your kids in your everyday life, whether that be through objects, language, or family in-jokes. Please share your ideas in the comments below. We'd love to hear them.
Finally, Amelia and I are show presenters of science, but we're also master students and we'd love any feedback you have for us on our videos so that we can improve. So leave that in the comments as well, we really love that. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Rats, Mice and Kids.
Happy experimenting!